All right, thank you so much. I'm happy to be with you here.
Thank you.
Since you invited me yesterday, I was so happy that today I will come and share the education program with you because I'm an educationist. I've been teaching for almost 30 years.
Wow.
My name is Momodou Mboob. I was born and brought up at Sukuta village. I attended Sukuta Lower Basic School. From there, I went to Banjul and attended St. Augustine's High School from 1981 to 1985.
Wow.
Now, from my high schools, where I obtained my O levels, I joined Radio Gambia. I was also a radio man.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a news reporter at Radio Gambia. I worked there for 1 year. I go and do coverage. I work with veteran journalists like Mike Jones and Peter Gomez. They all know me. I was at the newsroom working on the Radio Gambia. From Radio Gambia, I was there for almost 1.5 years. Then, one day I was in Radio Gambia. I had an advertisement that, MRC, they need a field worker. Then I decided to go and join the MRC. I joined the MRC as a field worker. I left the radio program. I liked journalism, but by those time, the salary was not good. So, and I'm a youth man, so I decided to leave journalism, and I went to MRC and become a field worker, and I was posted at Sukuta Health Center, where I spent some months. Then I was moved to Farafenye, where I work under the malaria project. After having my program with the MRC, that was a 2 years project. So after the project, I sat down. I was idle. I have nothing to do. I started playing football because I'm a footballer. Yes, I started playing football in Sukuta. I was playing football all the time. So I forget about being a civil servant. I said, let me just concentrate on football. So one of my friends who is now working on the UN, Usman Mani, just came to me and said, Mr. Mboob, now let us stop football. Football will not earn you anything. Here is the form, fill it and go and be a teacher. I said, no, I cannot be a teacher. Since I left school in 85, how can I go to the college? How I cannot even pass the exam. He said, no, just fill the form, go. I know you will make it. That's where I filled the form, went to the college, started the exams, and fortunately for me, I passed my exams. And I started teaching. I graduated in 1991. I started teaching. Then I was posted to different schools in the Gambia. Sifo, I went to the provinces, Kiang, Baribu, and finally I came to Sanchaba, Sulay, Jobe in the year of 2001. So since 2001, I have been in Sanchaba as a classroom teacher, where I rose to the rank of being a senior master. From senior master, I become deputy 2. From deputy 2, I become deputy 1. And 2 years ago, they hand over the school to me as the headmaster of the school.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Interesting, to be honest. Just the introduction shows people that we are going to learn a lot from you today, and definitely the discussion is going to be very, very nice. Just to remind you viewers that you are watching the Jungle Radio Postcards with me, Pa Usman Fala, as your host, and my guest today, as you all know, he is a man of timber, a man of caliber, Mr. Momodou Mboob, who is a veteran teacher, at the same time the current headmaster of Sanchaba Sulay Jobe Lower Basic School. So now we can have the program in proper. When you talk about teacher, you've explained something which I picked up on your introduction. What inspired you to be a teacher? With all the difficulties that you have faced, you have engaged in many different activities, and you've tested many different careers, and then you end up being a teacher. And I believe teacher is the career that you spent most of your life on. So what is the inspiration? What inspires you to be a teacher?
Okay, that's right. If you ask me that question, it's going to be very interesting. I have never wanted to be a teacher. I told you when I left, I was just working on the Radio Gambia. As you know, the Gambian system. My mother went to the director of Radio Gambia, said, my child have left school, high school, so can you take him to be working on the Radio Gambia? So that's where I went to. From there, I become a field worker. So I have no choice. During those days, you don't have choice. You just want to have a job where you can be paid monthly. You know, it's different from now that children will say, I want to be like this. For me, I said, I just want to secure a job whereby I'll have salaries and help my parents. So I don't even want to be a teacher. I can tell you a very interesting story here. When I was working under Radio Gambia, when I left Radio Gambia, before I go to MRC, you know, my late stepfather took me to Banjul, you know. We went to visit one Marabu, you know, Gambia especially, we believe in Marabu things.
Exactly.
So he took me to one Senegal Marabu and told the Marabu, this is my child, he left school, so I brought him here so that you can look for his future. You know what the Marabu did? The Marabu just opened the Holy Quran once and told my stepfather that this man is going to be a teacher. So I become so angry. I said, no, I'm not going to be a teacher, because, you know, those days from high school, in 85, from high school, you always like to go for better jobs than teaching.
Absolutely.
So I told my father, no, I cannot be a teacher. This man did not see me. My stepfather told me, this man is good. I said, no, I cannot be a teacher. But what took me to Gambia College, I don't even know it. I just see myself as a qualified teacher and I start teaching. So one day I sat and see, so even my friends told me, can you change your field? You are a high school product, can you go to police or other place where you have run? I told them, no, I just want to be a teacher. So this is how I remain as a teacher.
Wow.
You know, up to now, because now I have only few years to retire.
Interesting.
So, you know, that's how teaching came to me.
Came to you.
So one day I sat, I say, I don't know about that Marabu, but I've seen something in me.
Absolutely.
I have friends who were offering me jobs in other places. I said, no, just leave me. I want to be a teacher. And I love the job now.
Wonderful, interesting. Indeed, it was an inspiration. Though it came in a different manner, because it was an inspiration that came unappreciatedly. But later you realized that it was the best thing for you. Interesting.
Exactly.
So during your career of being a teacher, to an extent that you've mentioned, you are not left with many years to retire. What was the most challenging moment of being a teacher?
For me, yes, I have some challenges, because as teachers, our challenges are lack of materials in schools. Lack of materials. Although the government is doing very well to provide teaching and learning materials to schools, but it is not forthcoming, you know, as we like it. As teachers, we need materials, teaching and learning matter that we can use to teach. Because if you are teaching, you need teaching aids to support your teachings. But if you don't have those teaching aids, you don't have enough materials to help you, you will not deliver as you want to deliver.
Absolutely.
So these are some of the challenges, and the other challenge is it's very difficult to deal with children. Presently in my school, I have about 3,000 children.
Wow.
So to administer those children is a challenge.
It's a challenge.
And I have almost about 80 teachers. So you see the burden in me. But you know, so is life. You try and manage it.
Absolutely.
You can successfully manage it if you have your own team, because you have your deputies, you have your senior teachers. So when you collaborate with those people, you know, they always help you to be able to control it.
Absolutely. Interesting. Okay, now you've made mention of few important things when it comes to the most challenging part that you are seeing. So now, as a veteran teacher, if you were given the opportunity to reform something or to change something in the education system of the Gambia, what would it be? Where do you think, where are the lapses?
Exactly.
As long as the education system of the Gambia is concerned?
I'll be very happy to answer those questions, because right now, as I said, the government is trying their level best, but they cannot do all. Because right now, if you go to schools, you know, there are lack of textbooks. It's a problem. Textbooks, even presently, there are some schools without textbooks. So it's going to be very difficult to teach these children without textbooks. So textbooks are some of the problems we have in schools. And, you know, lack of enough classrooms and lack of furnitures. If you go to certain schools, children sit on the floor,
On the floor.
which is very sad. You know, the size of the classrooms is not that much big, so
Yeah.
it's always a problem. So these are some of the problems. We are lack of textbooks. You know, there are no proper furniture in schools, and the schools are not secured. Yeah, the schools are not secured because you know we need watchmen to take care of the school properties. But it is very difficult to have watchmen because the salaries that is attached to be a watchman is very small. So this is why most of the schools in this country are lack of watchmen because of this salary.
Absolutely, absolutely. Interesting, really, really. It's really interesting, and I believe you have made mention of things that are really important. So, what are some of the mechanisms aside from the aid that is coming from the government, undoubtedly, but what are other possible mechanisms that the school administrations or the Ministry of Education can use in order to make sure that they tap enough funds? Like, do they need to, tax the private sectors, or do they need to tax private organizations in order to make sure that at least they have what they are yearning, or at least they have met at least the actual, expectation? Because children going to school and sitting on the floor is definitely inappropriate. It's definitely inappropriate, and it's not fair, and it's sad as well. Because the current state of the Gambia, I believe, generally we should pass that level where a kid can go to school and will not have a chair to sit on. So that is really sad. So what do you think that can be used, or what are the possible mechanisms that can help improve that aspect of education?
Exactly. As for me, I always feel sad if I see such a situation because it's not difficult to provide seats for children. Even these local carpenters can do it.
Sure.
The government can hire them.
Yeah.
They don't need to bring chairs from Europe. They can use these carpenters. They can need, because in our school we have these combined tables,
Sure.
whereby the table and the bench are all combined together. They cannot steal them.
Yeah.
Because stealing is another problem in our schools. People will come to our schools and steal these chairs and go with them. But for these combined chairs, they cannot steal them. So what I'm appealing to the government, they can talk to these local carpenters, which will even engage the carpenters.
Yeah.
They can form a society. These carpenters can come together and be providing those combined tables and chairs for Gambian children. So government can even take that and be paying these carpenters monthly salaries. So the responsibility of the carpenters is just to provide these combined tables and chairs for schools.
Absolutely.
So that will remedy the situation. And the other thing is, we cannot leave the school in the hands of the government completely. This is why we have SMC. SMC means School Management Committee. So the people of Sanchaba, let them take an example of Sanchaba. The people of Sanchaba can come together. They have the resources. They can come together and say, we cannot leave this with the government. Our children are here. There are lack of chairs. So what can we do? Let's come together. Each compound will provide even $100 or $50. We put them together and hire a carpenter that will provide chairs for schools.
For schools, absolutely.
Yes. For my school, what I do is I normally write letters to these NGOs, these companies, and tell them my problems. That our school, we are lack of water, or we are lack of chairs. And some of these companies, they respond. I will just sit and they say, Mr. Mboob, yes, you are the one who requested some chairs. I say, yes, okay, come. They give me a check. Go and buy chairs. Or some of them will even bring chairs and help your children. And we have friends also from Europe. When we contact these stories, when they come to the school and see the situation of the bad situation of the school, what they normally do is they go to Europe, they raise funds, and put these chairs and table in containers and bring them to school.
Wow.
Yes, and they support the school.
Great. That is indeed wonderful, and we are definitely urging private institutions and these organizations to be helping schools, as we all hear it from the master himself. Things are really tough with them. They are really trying, and then he has beautiful suggestion community-wise and engaging institutions. That is it. As long as we are in a society, we are there to help each other. And then helping a school is like helping an absolute community. So these are some of the things that we should not joke with. So we are definitely urging everybody that is watching this, beautiful interview, if you can definitely play a part, come to Sanchaba school or a school that is around your community, go and see them to check what they lack, and then you definitely provide if you can, because helping one single student, it means you help an entire country, because nobody knows what the student is going to be, because all the presidents that are during the late Charara Kerawa, Jawara, Jame, Baro, when they were going to school, they never knew that there will be a day they will be called His Excellency. So these are some of the things that helping one student means helping an entire country. Yeah, it's very important. So Mr. Mboob, I'll take you a little bit out of the topic. What I want to understand now is what are the most important part when parents have to involve in their child's education.
Yeah, that's right. Previously, parents provide everything for their children. They pay what they call school fees. Okay, so there was a time that government said children should not pay even a single butut. So they provide what they call SIG, that is called School Improvement Grant. So every child is given $100. The government pay $100 for each child. For example, if you have 100 children in your class, in your school, each child is paid $100, is given $100. So when they join those $100 together, for example, a school of 3,000 children, 3,000 children by 100, that's going to be 300,000. So they give it to you quarterly. Every time they give you something. This is why the government said parents should not pay even a single butut. Now the government is taking over. So this is what they call SIG, School Improvement Grant. So they give you that money as a head to manage. So what do you do with that money? Use that money to buy chalk, cardboard, all the teaching and learning materials. You do some maintenance also in your school. For example, if you have a roof that is spoiled, you can take that money and buy corrugate and other things. But that money is not enough to improve schools, although it's helping us. It's helping us. So this is why parents now they relax, but they should not relax, because you have to invest in education. You cannot just leave your child. You say that okay, government is paying everything, so I'm not going to do anything. So this is why I'm urging parents, despite the government giving out SIG, but this SIG is not enough to provide all the materials for us. So the parents can also come in and contribute towards the school.
Absolutely.
The school does not belong to the government, it belongs to the community.
Absolutely. So I have learned something that parents' participation in every child's education, it's really essential. So they should not leave everything in the hands of the government, but they should also play their quota, because it's their child, and before the child benefits the government, it's going to benefit them. So as he rightly said, all parents should definitely try to play a part, because school expenses are always higher than expected. Even I know that schools usually have their own budget, but all the time something will definitely pop up, and then it will exceed the actual budget that was drawn. So there is always a difficulty. So I was never a master, but I was once a teacher. So I at least saw some of these, us the young teachers have at least saw some of these, shenanigans that usually happens in school. So it's really difficult. So back to the same question. What is the type of relationship that your administration has with the parents of your students?
So that's right. In every school, you have an organization called PTA. That's Parents Teachers Association. So this PTA, from the PTA, that's where you select your SMC. SMC means School Management Committee. So when you open schools, then you call a PTA. All the children parents will come for a meeting in the school. So as a head, you have to tell the parents that this school does not belong to the government. It belongs to you people. So we have the school administration have to work with the PTA, Parents Teachers Association. So this PTA also will select what they call school management committee.
Yeah.
Maybe the school management committee will be 13 or 20 people will be selected among the PTA. Those people are going to be between the teachers and the villagers.
Wow.
They call them SMC. They will have their chairman, their treasurer, everything. So those people will work hand in hand with the school administration to go and look for fund so that they can develop the school. Or if the school want anything that the parents can do, they use this SMC. The SMC will go to the parents and tell that the school said they need this and this and this and this. You know, the SMC act as a mediator between the administration and the villagers.
Sure.
Anything that we want to do, we will call the SMC and say, this is what we want to do. So the SMC will also go in turn and inform the villagers that this is what the school want to do. So if the villagers have anything to contribute towards that development, they will do it.
Yeah. Wonderful, immaculate.
But we have that collaboration.
Yeah. Wonderful,
PTA,
wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful. That is really nice. I believe, I mean, he is a role model to majority of the headmasters, and the way he is running his school, the way he organized Sanchaba Sulay Jobe is really eloquent. I know that I am an eyewitness because I usually go there. I have made my research, and definitely he is doing extremely well. So kudos to you and the entire team. And then now to the next question. I mean, we've seen, I would say, even during our time, during my school days, which is not long ago, we've seen the pride of education is more like it's decreasing. Because we've seen, I can tell, during your time of schools, you were not having equipment. Your learning system was not that much sophisticated. But now, I mean, even though if you are not up there, but at least it's far better than before. But I mean, children are no longer interested in learning. Children can wear uniforms, go to school, and then they will come back empty-headed. Even the way they went to school is better than the way they are coming to school. And we've seen recently, before, during your time, if you are expelled, I mean, you will never get admission in any of the schools. But today you can be expelled from Sanchaba school and you go to Sukotala school tomorrow and there will be admission. I mean, what is the cause of this?
As you said, now generations have changed. During our time, we go to school so that we can help our parents. But nowadays, children see that, well, my parents is having enough money. We have everything in our homes. Can you remember during our time when we are going to school, we don't even have lunch, we don't even have breakfast. But now, children are given full bread, everything. Some children come to school with $200 as lunch. Some will come with $50. So children, they don't value education now. What they value is, how can I have shortcut to go to Europe and make it? You know, forgetting that education is key. Even if you go to Europe, you are not educated, you will not be comfortable there.
Absolutely.
But now, children have no interest in education. What they have is, how can I make it, quick, to have quick money? And if you have that concept, you always see yourself in a wrong situation.
Absolutely.
This is why this, back waist syndrome is going on. Because they say, even if I don't finish my school, let me just have money, I go through the back way and go to Europe and make millions.
Absolutely.
I always advise them during assembly that if you do that, you are a failure. Because there are two things that you must do in life. You must go to school or you learn skills. You either be a carpenter or a welderman. You have something to live with. But you cannot be somebody who did not go to school and you don't learn any skill and you want to enjoy life. It's not possible.
It's not possible.
You cannot enjoy life.
Absolutely.
So this is it.
Yeah.
They don't care about education now. Children don't value education now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What they need, what they have in mind is, let me just go to school. If I have chance, I just go back there and go to Europe.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
what this story.
Just to remind viewers that you are watching us live from our main studios here at Sukuta, and this is your Teachers Hour with me, your host, Pa Osman Fall, and my special guest today is Mr. Momodou Mboob, a veteran teacher, at the same time the current headmaster of Sanchaba Sulay Jobe. I believe we are definitely enjoying the conversation and we are also learning a lot as long as education is concerned. So, Mr. Mboob, I want us also to dive into something that have been bothering me and bothering many people as well. They want to understand. We've seen recently, the recent system of education, there's a lot of mass promotion. In certain schools, or in majority of the schools, Now there is no like allocated mark that you have to get in order to make sure that you will go to the upper class. Now whether you pass, fail, you are just promoted.
Exactly.
Whether you have the worst result in the class, you will be promoted to grade 2. And we've seen these things will affect you either when you are doing common entrance, whether you are doing WAYAC grade 9 or you are doing WAS grade 12, because it all starts from the beginning, from the initial stage of your education. So why mass promotion? Why are majority of the schools so believe in mass promotion? Is it the money or what is it?
No, I would also love to answer that question. Is the education policy we have?
Wow.
The government just came and said that every Gambian child should have 9 years uninterrupted basic cycle.
Wow.
9 years. So their education policy is every child should go from grade 1 up to grade 9 without any interruption. So this is why if a child fail and you want to ask that child to repeat, the parents can come and say, no, although my child failed, but I don't want my child to repeat. My child have to go to another class. And you the teacher have no right to ask that child to stay, because this is what the government policy said, 9 years uninterrupted. Every child, whether you pass or you fail, you have to go from grade 1 up to grade 9 uninterrupted. So if you go to grade 9, that's where the battle is now. Presently, the grade 9 exams are on. So if you go to grade 9, that's where you start to the grade 9 exams. So if you are not a serious somebody, if you fail grade 9, that's it. That's where you stop. So those who pass grade 9 will go to grade 10. So those who fail, according to the government policy, which seeing no signs, because what they said is, if you go to grade 9, those who pass will go to grade 10. Those who fail will be taken to skill centers. But there are no skill centers, enough skill centers in this country to able to absorb all those children. But according to the education policy, that's the system. If you go up to grade 9, you fail, you go to the skill centers. Those who pass will go to grade 10. But this is not happening now. With these private schools, if you go up to grade 9 and you fail all your subjects, you can go to grade 10, because there are private schools here who will employ, who will register children, they will admit children. Even if you have aggregate 0, they will take you as far as you have the money to pay. So this is why children don't care. As far as my parents have money, if I fail grade 9, I'll go to grade 10. But I always advise them, you are wasting your time, because if you don't pass grade 9 and you go to grade 10 in a private school, grade 12 is there waiting for you. Where you take your work. If you go to grade 12, you have already wasted your parents' money. You go up to grade 12, you set to grade 12 exams and you fail.
It's a problem.
So at the end of the day, who is the loser? You are the loser.
You are the loser.
Your parent,
Absolutely. So Mr. Mboob, I mean, with your experience and as a veteran teacher, you have been, I mean, really, you served a really long time in the education system, and as an educationist as well. Do you think this education basic circle, this policy that, I mean, they should have like a circle of not being interrupted, even though if it's not favorable? Because I mean, how can, I mean, it's not even good for the country. As a child, some people are late starters. They can be dormant at the initial stage and later pick up. But at least there should be certain limitation. If you have certain low marks, you should not proceed to the upper class. At least stay and try and make sure that you do something better next time. But this mass promotion, don't you think is something that is hindering the education system? Because we've seen recently, from the Gambia College, I've interacted with few teachers, and definitely sometimes you ask yourself, how on earth was this guy managed to become a teacher?
Yes, exactly.
To be honest.
Exactly.
So and then if you interact with them and they explain how they were able to become a teacher, is definitely something else.
Exactly.
And they are going to be the same people that are going to teach
our children.
Exactly,
Yes.
our children.
Right.
So I mean, it's the same circle that is heading to societal degeneration.
Right.
I mean, it's something else. So, on your own perspective, what do you think can be done in order to make sure these things are changed?
Exactly. Okay. As I always tell people that corruption, you can create corruption in all areas except education. Education, you have to take the right people. As you said, let's take an example of the Gambia College. But now, thank God, things have changed now. If you go to the college now, the ministry is sitting, waiting for you. If you go to the college and you are trained as a teacher, when you finish your training as a teacher, you are not taken to schools like that. Education also, what they do is they give those teachers tests. They will give them tests. All those who pass that test will be taken as teachers. If you fail that test, they will drop you.
Good.
This is the system now. But previously, as you know, this Gambian syndrome, I can be a lecturer at the Gambia College and go and pick my niece or my nephew who have just left grade 9 and ask that person to be registered at the college.
Absolutely.
So when that person is there at the college, he cannot perform. So at the end of the day, the person will be certificated as a qualified teacher. So when that person go to the primary level, he or she cannot deliver.
Absolutely.
So this is what the government have realized now. So after your training at the Gambia College for 2 years, the government education again will come in turn and test those teachers.
Good.
So now the system have changed.
Good.
They will test you. If you pass, they absorb you as a teacher and post you to various schools. If you fail, there are a lot of teachers around this area who are sitting now. They have no school and they have attended the college. Yes,
Because they have failed.
because they failed the education test.
Good.
So now things are improving.
Good.
Now we are having quality teachers because previously those days they don't even test them. They just take them and post them.
Absolutely.
You know. So when you post them, you post a teacher who don't have the stuff and you ask him to teach the children. Definitely, that teacher will not be effective.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but now, thank God, you know, the education system have seen the problem. Now they are solving the problem now.
Thank God. Thank
So
God.
your father or your sister who is at the college will not just go home and pick you and bring it at the college, because they will know that at the end of the day they will give you a test.
They will give you a test.
Cannot pass it.
Wonderful. Definitely, this is what we call development. Some of these things that are hindering, especially when it comes to the education sector, as you've rightly said, you can corrupt every sector except the education sector because it shows. Education shows. So basically, now what I want you to, because I have seen people who want to become a teacher, but in the Gambia here, being a teacher, being a police, and other careers, they definitely want to sit back. They definitely want to hold back because they believe that there is no money in the system. What advice do you have for someone who wants to become a teacher?
Yes, it's very good to be a teacher, and I'm encouraging all Gambian students, you know, who left school to engage themselves as teachers. You know, it's just the African context that we said, you know, there is no money in the teaching field. I don't know what type of money they are looking for, because you know, if you come to the salary wise, there is no department in this country whose salary is more than the teaching field.
Wow.
Yes, but the only thing that Gambians believe is, you know, there is no incentives as far as the teaching field is concerned. You just go to school, you go and teach. After teaching, you go home. You don't go home with anything. For me, that is corruption. There is no corruption in the teaching field. Yes, but other departments, there are other ways and means that you can have money. Without your salary, you can do one or two things and have money and you go home with it.
Absolutely.
That will help you to manage yourself because before the end of the month. But as a teacher, you have money only at the end of the month. There is no other money that you can have. At the end of. This is why they said teaching is difficult because you don't have any money except end of month. They pay you your salary. You go and pay your bills, buy your bag of rice, and within 2-3 days you are broke. So you go back again and struggle up to the end of the month. This is why people are running away from teaching. But as far as these departments are concerned, there is no department in this country whose salary is greater than the teachers. No,
Wow.
the teachers are well paid, but we still need more incentives, more allowances for teachers. But as far as salaries are concerned, our salaries are the best. What we are lacking is allowances. We don't have enough allowances, which we are now, trying to discuss with our TTU. We have TTU called Teachers. Gambia Teachers Union. We are pushing them so that they can also talk to the Minister of Education so that they can create more allowances to teachers so that they can retain teachers. Because if teachers they see that there is no money in the teaching field, they leave the teaching field and go into all areas. We have lost a lot of teachers. So if you go to GRA, 35% of GRA workers are all teachers. And they are very good teachers. They have to leave the teaching field and go to GRA because what attracts them is the allowances and the money. And everybody wants money to develop yourself in life.
Absolutely.
But when the teaching field is attractive, there are a lot of allowances. Those teachers, they will not leave the teaching field and go to other areas.
Absolutely. That area needs to be improved because in order to retain good teachers, you definitely have to pay them well. In as much as, like you've mentioned, teachers, as long as the civil service is concerned, the type of salary teachers have, there is no, ministry that is having, this salary, but still they want more because they also have responsibilities and everybody will want to live a quality life. Anyway, and then being a teacher is not easy. I always tell people, like, the career that I don't want to, in my life, if I was to choose a career, being a teacher will be the last. Like I said initially when we were starting the program, teachers are the ones that teach presidents. Teachers are the ones that teach ministers. Teachers are the ones that teach bankers. They will, you will teach someone who will become a president, a minister, driving a car, and you are still a teacher.
Exactly.
And you are still just struggling.
Exactly.
Just that feeling, is something else. Imagine you were the very one that inculcated that knowledge, that compelled or propelled them to have what they have, and you are still the same path. I used to say, I said, if you have a father, an uncle, a mother, a sister who is a teacher, he or she is a hero. Or to be honest, is always, something that personally me I cannot do.
Exactly.
Yes, because I cannot be in a place whereby I am, because being a teacher is simply to make someone better than you.
Exactly.
That is the absolute definition of a teacher.
Teachers are nation builders.
Exactly.
We build nations. We make people.
Absolutely.
We build up people. We manufacture people.
Yeah.
But as teachers, we always feel proud when we see our students, ex-students excelling.
Yeah.
Some of our students right now, some of them are permanent secretaries, some of them are directors, some of them are bankers. So I always feel proud when I meet with them. Sometimes I will not recognize them. They say, Mr. Mboob, I say, hey, why do you recognize me? Mr. Mboob, you taught me in CIFO. I say, where are you now? I'm the director of this place. I feel proud that I have contributed towards your life. But if you see it in another way around, you have taught somebody who can now buy you.
Absolutely.
What you benefit from them, they just stand there with their big cars. Hey, Mr. Mboob, come.
Exactly.
Where are you going? I'm going to Serakunda. They will take you up to Serakunda. When you reach at Serakunda, they put their hands in their pocket and give you 2,000 or 1,000. That's the only thing you get. But you also feel happy that this is the child that I have made to be a director. I have contributed towards his success. So we feel proud. We feel proud.
Honestly,
excelling.
It's really good. It's really good, and especially someone like you who have been in the system for quite a while. 30 years is not. 30 days or 30 months is you must have really had a passion for teaching, because it's something from where you've started, being just a mere teacher and an administrator, and now the headmaster of the school, to be honest, is something else. It's not easy. I know it was not an easy journey, so it's something else. Being just a mere teacher is not easy. Talk less of handling an entire school of a very
big school.
Exactly, and the community as well. Everybody will have different thoughts, different. It's something else. It's not easy. But as a veteran teacher, you are close to your retirement, I can say. When you sit down, personally, how do you feel?
I feel like, okay, sometimes I feel proud that I have contributed a lot towards my country because I've educated a lot of people who are now in big positions. But if you look at it in another way around, the saddest part of it is finance. Because you taught for 30 good years, you don't even have a compound.
But
You don't even have
really
a compound. Teachers have been teaching, they got retired, they cannot even have their own house. Could you believe? I can give you an example. There was a teacher, a head teacher who was staying in a school, in the school quarters with the family. They were staying in the school quarters because government, they provide quarters for the headmaster. So they were staying in the quarters. So when the headmaster retired, he have to leave the quarters and go to his home. But the headmaster have no place to go because he has no compound, he has no house in their compound. So he talked to the incoming headmaster that anyway, I have to leave this house for you, but right now I don't have anywhere to go with my family. So can you please leave me here? Let me look for a house. If I have that house, then I can move it off with my family. You see, and that man have served this nation for more than 30 good years. So it's very sad. It's very sad. So the government have to come in and help these retired teachers.
Absolutely.
Okay. What they normally do is when you retire, the government will allow you to come back, to do what they call contract. You teach for 6 years. So if you retire at the age of 60, the government will give you 6 years. You come back to the school. And this time you are not going to be a teacher, you are going to be a monitor. You monitor and check the teachers whether they are doing the right thing. But government will just give you that contract for 6 years. So after that 6 years, you are over. So if you don't have your home, you don't have anywhere to stay, or you don't have a family, you don't have children that will help you, you really find it very tough, very tough. So this is why some of our, retired head teachers, most of them are frustrated because they don't have no house, they don't have no place to stay. They don't have children that can support them. So that frustration can even lead them to their early grave.
Absolutely.
So
Because frustration is really bad, especially a teacher. I always say a teacher and a soldier, they are the two individuals that should be respected. Because if the country is at war, obviously the soldiers will go out to protect everyone. As long as you are in that country or you are part of the nation, you will be protected by them. At the same time, teachers are the ones that teach people to make sure that that war is settled, not physically, but mentally. So they are the same as the soldiers. Perhaps maybe these are the ones that does things practically, and they help people to do things, in a diplomatic format. So teachers cannot be paid, and then it's really sad to see a teacher who retired and does not have a house to go. It's really, really, really sad. As I indicated, viewers, it is your show, the Teachers Hour, and we've had not just a teacher, but a veteran teacher and a headmaster as well. We've seen what he had to offer, and we've learned a lot. So, and then Mr. Mboob, what is going to be your concluding remarks for today?
My concluding remarks is just to appeal to the government to try and encourage teachers and encourage Gambians to take teaching as a career. Because to be candid, right now we are losing a lot of our teachers. Because to them the teaching field is not attractive. So whenever they see any attractive job, they will leave.
Absolutely.
I have seen very good teachers who are now leaving the system because they have jobs somewhere else. And of course they will go because they are youth men and they want to make money. So I'm appealing to the government to make sure that they create more allowances to teachers so that teachers can retain, they can be in the field.
Absolutely.
But if they don't provide them incentive, they don't provide them allowances, at the end of the day we lose a lot of our teachers for other departments.
Absolutely.
So, and the other thing is, I'm also appealing to the parents to help us to make sure that we inculcate good disciplines in these children. The teachers alone cannot do it. We have only few hours with the children. You know, when they are in school, they have discipline.
Yeah.
We make sure that we monitor them. But when they are at home, they are no more under our control.
Absolutely.
So now parents, they don't have time for their children.
Yeah.
Because, you know, every parent is trying to struggle to bring food at home.
At home, yeah.
So when they left their houses in the morning, they will not come back home until night time.
Yeah.
So when these children close school by 2 o'clock, they will be at home from 2 up to night time. They will be idling, they will not read their books. They go to the beach, they play football, they don't even read their books.
Absolutely.
So it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Yeah,
Indeed.
definitely.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed.